Here in Belgium at Spa-Francorchamps is present one of the most iconic tracks in all of motorsport, not just Formula One. It is a 7 kilometers track, the longest track of the calendar. 100 meters of elevation change. This track is an absolute banger, absolutely iconic from the first corner to the last. It is Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, and it is round number 5 of season 18 in Division 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on our YouTube channel for some more racing action. I am your usual commentator, BS Gabri. Qualifying is now underway. There are 15 minutes left on the clock. The drivers are already out on track to set their first laps, and as you can see, we have an extremely numerous, lively grid. We have 18 drivers for tonight, and a few, actually more than a few, interesting returning faces. We have, who do we have? Who do I start with? We have Kart Racer. After missing quite a few rounds and falling back in the Drivers' Championship, he is now back racing here on the grid, back in his Red Bull seat, and he needs to start gaining points on his main rivals, Felix, and also his teammate PC Willy. From this race onwards, he needs to start the hunt and start gaining back points. We have... who else do we have? Like, interesting. We have Cheeseburger. Well, that's his in-game name. On Discord, he is called Sam Attack. I did call him Sam in the Azerbaijan race last week, so I'm still gonna keep calling him Sam. He's reserving for Aston Martin, and he had an extremely impressive race in Division 2, still in Belgium this Wednesday, just 3 days ago. And he recovered from like dead last, which was P17, up to P2, if I remember correctly. If not P2, P3, but like was absolutely one of the fastest drivers in the race, and he pulled off some extremely good maneuvers, extremely good racecraft. So he's definitely a driver we have to watch out for tonight. Who do we have? We have Jeremy in the Sauber, also returning after a few missed races. We have there we go, I found him, Jonathan, a true legend of the past of F1 Total. He is now back. He's reserving as well for Aston Martin, making his return after a very, very long time. One of the OGs, arguably, of F1 Total. He is back behind the wheel. One of the most iconic tracks as well. So yeah, and other than that, we have our usual contenders still as fast as they could be. You can already see the top 3. Kart Racer on provisional pole position, Felix in P2, 48 thousandths behind, Alex the G in P3, 56 thousandths behind. Then we have the 2 McLarens, Coutinho and Antonio, who goes by a different name every single race, but he's always Antonio, separated by 3 thousandths each. And they are both about 1/10.5 away from pole position. Already the top 5 looking extremely competitive. I think we are here for an absolute banger of a race tonight in Belgium. Spa-Francorchamps is known as one of the tracks where the weather forecast is more likely to have some rain, but we have been informed it is going to be all dry. So yeah, obviously much easier conditions for our drivers. It's already, I wouldn't say it's a difficult track per se. It's just very technical, very complete. You have to take sector 2 on such low wings. You have to really push the car to the limit. It's not difficult, but I mean, it requires a lot of talent. It's 7 kilometers long. There are 20 corners. Oh, Jonathan with a spin through the comb as I was talking about how technical of a track this is, and he gets caught up by the curbs, I assume the curbs at the combo. Now we are looking at PC Willy, who looks to be flying just after one sector. I was saying, I mean, it's such a long track. There's 20 corners, so every single corner has huge potential for the skill level, the skill gap between drivers to show. I mean, like if I pick Austria, such a short track, just 10 corners, the gap from the fastest driver to the slowest driver will be very small, like arguably about a second. But obviously, at a long track like Belgium, every single corner, it's valuable tenths you can gain and you can lose. So we definitely see the difference in pace between every single driver. It still could be a DRS train track. Um, if drivers choose to like only battle on the straights with DRS, which is the start finish straight just before turn one, the source, but it's so short DRS just doesn't matter. What really matters is the camera straight with DRS. And at the moment it's a Rebel 1-2. PC Willy out qualifies Felix by 1,000th of a second and sets himself 47 thousandths behind Kart Tracer. Top 6 absolutely flying, and especially the top 4 only on their banker laps. We are already looking at something just great behind the wheel. I mean, I just can't wait. I just can't wait to see them racing. And Belgium, Spa is one of the most exciting races, like in racing, in battles, in fighting. If you missed out on the Division 2 race in Belgium, I highly recommend you watch it back. For me, it was the best race of the season, well, the most entertaining race of the season. Not my best in terms of performance, but just the more fun to watch. Felix still thinks it's Vegas, another banger, but I disagree. I think Belgium was better. So again, I highly recommend you check the Division 2 race out again if you have missed that, because maybe you'll understand just of how much racing I am talking about, how much exciting action was across the entire grid, and especially the midfielder and top of the midfielder. No, actually, just the podium places, and like from P2 to P6 or so was like so fought and battled. Just absolute cinema from start to finish. Again, I can't say it enough. And with these close gaps, with pretty much all of the main fastest drivers attending this race, we are here for an exciting one. I couldn't say instinctively who I think will win this race. I don't remember who I put in my predictions. Probably was Kart Tracer, but I wouldn't swear on it. So because I just don't remember. But I really wouldn't count anyone out beside, between the top drivers, or heck, even maybe one of the midfield drivers could win. We don't know. Strategy, it's an extremely easy one stop. You can just absolutely push flats out on both tires, on the mediums and on the hards. It's C1. It's the C1 compound for the hards. Just lasts absolutely forever. You can push full pace on the tire and it will still easily make the entire race distance. And because of that, it highly encourages for a medium hard strategy. So since the hards can last forever, you don't have to worry about saving the mediums too much so that your stint on the hards could work. You can just push full pace to the mediums, maximize lap time, and when they wear out too much, they are C3, they're not C1. They skip a step, so it's C3, they wear out a lot quicker. But since the hards last so long, you don't have to worry about managing the mediums. In the meanwhile, Coutinho sets a new fastest lap of the session, a 1:41.285, out-qualifies Kart Tracer by 60 thousandths of a second, who is currently pushing through the com and improving by 32 thousandths of a second. And if he just finds the tiniest of improvements in Sector 2, the most technical sector of the track, he can definitely get back on top. So yeah, that was the strategy. Just push full pace on both tires, and there is the potential to have a DRS train, especially if the Travis looks to be so close on pace. It would be just very exciting, I think. The purple sector 2, and he will more than definitely set a fastest lap time here in Belgium for provisional pole position with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. He could still have time for another run if he rushes back into the pits. I think he can make it. But now taking a lot of curb in second gear to the bus stop chicane, get good traction on the exit, absolutely fundamentally improves by 4/10, and we go down into the 140s, a 140.939 from the 6-time world champion. Outperforms Coutinho by 3/10 and a half. Sorry, I have a bit of a sore throat. My voice won't be as brilliant as it could be normally. I hope I don't have to like grow my throat so often. But Cat Racer, on his return after a few missed races, he sets the target. He sets probably an unbeatable target. He says, I am here, I am waiting. You want to qualify ahead of me? Go set a lap faster than that if you can. 40.939. Absolutely amazing lap. Jeremy has improved significantly. He's now pretty much a 10th behind Antonio in P7. Numicon is very close as well. Don't think they're both pushing, are they? Are they? Is Numicon pushing? Probably. He has a Haas ahead of him. That's Phantom Fox, who is probably pushing as well. And Numicon isn't pushing, or is he? I think that they both are. Yeah, it's just a very difficult situation for Numicon because he's stuck in the WTR of Phantom Fox. He's not gonna have he's not gonna have clean air. He's not gonna have all the grip available. He's losing a lot of time. Yeah, that's lap done. I mean, if you get a slipstream here, but I think it's still very, very far. Phantom Fox across the line, pulls up to P11, 2/10.5 of improvement. Numicon, as expected, rushes back into the pits. 3 minutes left on the clock. Drivers need to rush out of the pit lane to drive their last runs. And at the moment it is Car Tracer dominating by 3/10.5. We have Antonio on the out lap. So is Coutinho. Phantom Fox is on the in lap. He's not going to have the time to set another run, so he's going to start in P11 at best. What else do we have? That's a Mercedes of Aussie Dry. Just behind him is probably a Haas of Felix. Yes, behind him as well. The new Golf Williams from Alex. Car Tracer retires in the pit lane. He is so confident that pole position time won't be beaten unless he can be proven wrong by Coutinho or Alex. These two are the closest to that time. But Felix, he's definitely gonna do the best he can. But if he finds just 1,000th of improvement over Peace Willie, he can already jump up to P4. And Peace Willie stays in the pit, or he's coming out. But I don't think he's gonna have time. I don't think he has the time for another run. I think he timed this exit not so nicely. I can't see how much time is left. 1 minute left on the clock. We are gonna go on board with Coutinho, currently the fastest driver on track because Car Tracer retired. He's a driver in P2. If he finds 3/10 of improvement, he could be Car Tracer. Let's see what can he do. We go on board with the McLaren for a commentary lap here around Spa-Francorchamps. DRS before even starting the lap, and we brake for turn 1. Los Oros at the 100-meter board and going downhill on the crest and missing the apex, going too late on the brakes and with a little bit of a slide on the exit. The exit from turn 1, Los Oros is definitely going to cost him throughout the entire sector 1 and through the entire camera straight. Now flats out, downhill into Eau Rouge, uphill into Radion, maximize track limits as much as possible. DRS enabled, and the cars run so much low downforce. We reach a top speed of 335 kilometers per hour. Coutinho is still improving by 31 thousandths. Now he flicks his car to the right, to the left, and to the right again into the comb. And now the elevation change starts to drop very gradually through sector 2. We go down here into this 180 right hand corner that is Bruxelles, and into the left hander of No Name. Maximize track limits as well, and now an absolutely breathtaking corner, flat out in 7th gear, Pujon, double apex on the left. And now we keep going down here into Le Fang. I think it's called Le Fang. 4th gear, 5th for the left-hander. Downhill again. 3rd gear for the end of sector 2. That's an improvement of a 10th and a half almost, but it's not going to be enough. Now we start going uphill once again, exiting Stavelot. We start sector 3. We deploy some more battery on the run down to the line. Antonio will be the closest to the line. Coutinho brakes for the bus stop chicane at the 100-meter board. Hard on the brakes and deep late on the brakes, as late as you dare. DRS enabled once again for Coutinho. That's an improvement of 2 tenths and a half, and goes, well, he stays in P2, but he's still 1/10 off of Cat Tracer, absolutely flying lap in pole position. Alex stays in P3. PC Willy. Oh, there's a Sauber crash at the exit of Le Fagn just before the end of sector 2. PC Willy is not improving, he's down. And look at these gaps from PC Willy, Jeremy and Fix. PC Willy and Jeremy have the same exact lap time, but PC Willy stays ahead and he still could improve it. If he finds just the 10th, he can out-qualify Alex. Felix has retired, I have no idea how or when. PC Willy stays in P4 where he is, does not improve, but with the exact same lap time as Jeremy. He's gonna start in P4, but he sets the lap earlier, so he's ahead of Jeremy, who's gonna start in P5. Felix just 1 single thousandth behind, not one driver, but 2 drivers. He's gonna start in P6, and getting out qualified by 1,000th of a second by 2 drivers on the same lap time is definitely something I have not seen before, and definitely not an achievement Felix was looking forward to. But Jamie, I have to say, with an impressive lap as well, good enough for P5, same as PC Willy, he's gonna be a very strong contender. We definitely need to watch out for, well, for the top 7, most definitely. Numicorn is not that far, neither is Pinky. Sam in P10 in Aston Martin, he was impressive in Division 2, but when you go against the Division 1 contenders, well, the front runners of Division 1, it becomes a whole another story. That's only P10 for the Aston Martin reserve driver. There you go. On his return after a few missed attendances, the 6-time world champion is back on pole position here in Spa-Francorchamps. It's going to be Coutinho to end the front row. Alex in P3, PC Willy in P4, Jeremy P5, Felix P6, Antonio in P7, Numicorn in P8, Pinky in P9, and Sam in P10, Sean in P11, Pix P12, P13 for Fans and Fox, P14 for All Wise. Then we have the bottom 4, Alex II, Bazooka Joe, Aussie Dry, and Jonathan, as many would call it. A second off of Aussie Dry, just ahead of him from P18 to P17. Well, maybe not the return he was looking for, but a lot can happen in the race, you know, you never know. There's qualifying done, and I just absolutely cannot wait to see how this race unfolds. I want to see battles from start to finish. Like, no exceptions, no mercy, no woke DRS stuff, just battle from start to finish. I want to see a Division 2 type of fighting. We need that. We want it. Car Tracer currently sitting P5 in the driver's standings with 28 points. He's even behind reserve driver Jerem, who had an amazing race in Baku. Well, he won Baku. He's now racing today, so Kutcher could definitely jump up into into P4. But Kutcher is on 28 points, Alex on 52. So Kutcher after this race is gonna be P4. He's gonna be P4. The only way he can go up to P3 is if he wins the race and Alex scores 0 points. Frankly, don't think that's gonna happen. Kutcher can definitely win, but I don't think Alex will retire. Or DNF or just be out of the points. So he can definitely gain. He definitely gains points, but not many positions. But the season is still long, and he can definitely start his comeback from here. Every single driver is on the mediums apart for Phantom Fox. What is that greedy hard strategy? Sure, the hards can last. Okay, well, actually, I can get why. Because Sean in Division 2 went for a hard medium. There were no safety cars, and he pulled it off. I think he was the driver who finished P2, so I can understand why. But, like, in terms of safety cars and undercuts and so on, medium hard is definitely the most favorable strategy, and that's what every single driver is going with. But maybe the hard medium is just so much faster without safety cars that maybe Phantom Fox is going to be on the podium or something. We don't know, but we cannot wait to find out. The grid is set, the lights are on for the 5th round of the season here in Belgium. Countries are on pole position, Coutinho on the right hand side in 2nd place. It's lights out, and away we go. In Spa-Francorchamps, Car gets a brilliant start. There is absolutely no chance for Coutinho to pull alongside, but there's a McLaren down the inside of Jeremy. That's Antonio trying to send it, and it's already 3 wide on the exit of La Source. Just before we go to Eau Rouge, PC Willy maintains P4, the top 4 stays unchanged. Actually, so does the top 6, because Felix drops down to 7th. And it's already a gap starting to form from Pinky just immediately behind, and it's gonna be already a massive drift stream from every single driver here on the camera straight. And Antonio defends the inside. PC Willy wants to get past. He outbreaks the McLaren so late on the outside line of the car, but it's not enough, and he stays behind. Not to button in the midfield. Sam already up into P8, overtaking the 2 V-Carbs. Pinky having a look down the inside, but he backs out of it, and Jeremy is very close to PC Willy. He backs out of it just before No Name, so he stays where he is in P5. And the grid looks very, very close. There's been no incidents. Everyone is just behind one another. So look at the position changes. Aussie Drive was the biggest winner, gaining 4 places up into P13. And the biggest quote-unquote losers were Numicon and Panzerfax, but losing just 2 places, so not the bigger deal. And we have a crash, maybe? Yellow flags at the back? Bazooka Joe is damaged, and maybe he was involved in some sort of contact with Jonathan. Don't know what happened there. Does Jonathan have damage? I cannot see. He does. They are both missing an end plate, and there's battle in between. Oh, there's a winner spun round. That's Sean. Sean is being spun round at the bus stop chicane. I think he might have been rear-ended by Pix. Maybe he sent a dive down the inside and spun him round. That's probably what happened. But Sean Moore, the Scottish driver, is down in P16 after a lap 1 incident. DRS has been enabled, and that's where the real battle starts. Catchers still in the lead. Coutinho will have the first shot on the camera straight with DRS. He's still too much behind to make a move happen, but who's not too far behind is Felix, who chooses once again the outside line. Alecom, they are both so late on the brakes, and Felix even goes off track, outbrakes himself too much, and does not make a move happen on Antonio. Antonio braking so late and so aggressively to try and defend his position, and he stays where he is in P6. But they don't want to battle too much, or they will lose the DRS train from the top 5 ahead of them. So everyone is in a DRS train apart from Jonathan. Phantom Fox could drop out of it soon as well. He's on a hard tire, so he's obviously going to be slower. He's already starting to drop behind, more than a second behind always. Pigs as well is not looking great. We have a bit of breathing room. The fight still needs to brew up. He still needs to get properly started. Carchester was maybe a little bit too deep on the brakes. That's what allowed Coutinho to close in. And he sets the fastest lap time. A 1 minute and 45.154 for the McLaren driver, who goes deep into zone 1. He's going to compromise his exit. He's not going to have a run on Carchester. But Sam now is very, very close to Felix, and Felix has lost a lot of time behind Antonio, and now Sam will just slingshot past with the DRS, the Haas driver who will have nothing to defend, and he might get overtaken even by Pinky. And yes, he will. Felix loses 2 places in one single straight from P7 to P9. Nothing you can do when you don't have DRS, and he has a massive snap through the comb. He gets caught up by the dirty air. He has to correct the car mid-corner. Now he's under pressure by Numicon. Felix absolutely with a terrible first hit in here, dropping down to P9. And what did I tell you? Sam, with great racecraft, is up into P7. And ahead of the championship leader. I think Sam has a bit of something against championship leaders in a Haas in Belgium, because he definitely outperformed me, championship leader in Haas. For the moment, he's outperforming Felix, championship leader in the Haas. Just a coincidence. BC really looks close to Alex. Less than 4 tenths. I think that's the smallest gaps in this top field. And Felix just does not look to have the pace. He's now dropping back behind Pinky as well. This really looks very close to Alex, but they both have DRS, so unless PC Willy is running negative wings or just deploys his battery from 100% to 0% of this entire straight, he's not going to overtake Alex. But Carchester is definitely the hunted in this race. He looks to be the fastest, and this DRS train behind him will just keep pursuing him up until they lose it or whatever. Felix is not happy being behind Pinky, who has dropped out of DRS from Sam, so he needs to get past very quickly. He also needs a big step up in pace, because against the DRS train he's not gonna have a lot to fight with. Numicon is very close to Felix as well. We need to watch out for him. And Coutinho with a snap, exiting the bus stop, sent his car sideways, but he's still just below the 5 tenths. He has a better exit in here, maybe, no. It's gonna close in, but it's still not enough. We have a battle between Aussie Dry and Pix for P11 at the com. I completely missed the move, but Aussie Dry has gotten past Pix. Making his way up the field, up into P11 now. With a good strategy, he could be into the points. Onumikon, if it is fighting Felix lets Numicorn past? Not sure why. Maybe he wants to use Numicorn as a way to get closer to Pinky, but... Oh, and what's happening here? Yellow flags for who? Panzerfox overtook both. I don't know. And Jonathan is in the pit lane, and Coutinho almost drops out of DRS from catchers. And look at this. And now we have a battle between Felix and Numicorn, and also Sam and Pinky. These two were two of the main protagonists in Division 2. Pinky was actually who won the Division 2 race. And he looks to be fighting for the best of the rest. The first outside of the front runners in Division 1, apart from Felix. So I think if he scores a P7 today, he's definitely going to be happy with that. And Jonathan, well, he's going for an aggressive undercut. But he picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And he probably picked that out right on out of all corners. Coutinho has dropped out of DRS from Kart Racer. Things that are about to get a lot more interesting. Kart Racer, he's just absolutely flying on the track. He's gapping Coutinho. He has made him lose DRS, and now the McLaren driver is going to be under attack by so many hungry cars behind him. Alex, Pisuili, Antonio, Jeremy. Jeremy in the pits already. Another very early aggressive undercut, this time coming from Jeremy and from Aussie Joy as well, who is in the pits. Well, to be fair, the undercut, it can work, but maybe not too much, because the Hards of C1, they still need some time to warm up. So an undercut could work, but it's not guaranteed. But we have a fight brewing on between Pisuili and Coutinho, and Pisuili goes on the outside, and now on the inside line, and again on the outside line for the exit of the com. Coutinho stays ahead, but the battle is brewing up between the top runners who have lost DRS from Kart Racer, so the fighting is going to be a lot more intense right now, and Kart Racer will use this chance to just get away, gap them even more, and easily, calmly win this race. Already on lap 7, he's showing what he's worth, showing his unbeatable pace. But it ain't over till it's over. There's still 15 laps to go. And oh! I was so scared Alex was straight lining the gravel. But it was a bit of lag. Alex is also doing a good job of gapping Coutinho. Maybe Coutinho's tires are dropping too much in pace and wear. He was struggling to keep up with Kart, and now he's struggling to keep up with Alex. Do we see any more pit stops? The yellow flags for, I don't know. But in the meanwhile, Alex is in the pits. He responds to the undercut from Jeremy, I believe that was. Pisuili as well. He pits before his teammate. Felix and Numicorn in as well. The front runners might be in trouble here. Caltres, Coutinho and Antonio staying out. Picks 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that's quite an unnecessary penalty that will definitely ruin Pix' race and Pix' chance to score some useful points after a very, very long streak of so many good races. I think Belgium will be the end of this streak. Comes out on track in P12, just ahead of us, not just behind. Jeremy and Alex are where they were before in terms of position to each other. And they are fighting. Caches is in the pits. The race leader now is in the pit lane, so is Coutinho. Antonio will stay out for one more lap on those mediums. Sam responds, so does Pinky. Antonio will be the last driver to make his pit stop from the mediums to the hards. And he's gonna be in big trouble. He's gonna get, well, I mean, the hards, sure, they do take some time. They might even take a lap to warm up, but after you're staying out for so long, the undercut just starts to kick in, and Antonio, I think he will drop very far behind the field, just losing so many positions, and it's not like he's gonna have a big tire advantage to make it up, to make up for it. And oh, Jeremy is so close to Alex and to PC as well. We go 3 wide into the combo, fighting for P3, and Jeremy overtakes them both. He stays ahead of Alex and Car Tracer. He was actually Car Tracer, not PC Willy. The race leader jumps down to P5 immediately after his pit stop, and that's the undercut kicking in from Alex and Jeremy. This race, this battle is just starting right now. Car Tracer's teammate, he's just behind, but he's gaining slowly. Sam, Felix, Numicon, and Pinky very close to each other. Look at this, 4 cars fighting for P8 on track. Now we have Antonio in the pits as well. And we have Alex, who is chasing Jeremy down the bus stop chicane. Brakes later, gets closer, locks the rears just a little bit, and gets caught up in the dead Sierra. Traction is so difficult out of the bus stop chicane under racing conditions. Phantom Fox will now lead the race because he's on the older hards. We have no idea where will he come out on track once he pits onto the mediums. Antonio is dropping like a stone down to P7. He got himself undercut from pretty much the entire, pretty much all the front runners, and he's not gonna have enough of a tire advantage to be faster. DRS train still continuing down the camera straight. Catches has a look down the inside, but Jeremy actually goes down the inside of Phantom Fox. Now they're gonna have to overtake Phantom Fox in the traffic. Phantom Fox will be a moving chicane, and Catches almost makes contact with Alex. They go 3 wider into reverse. Look at this, Phantom Fox moves out of the way, stays on the outside line, but Catches and Alex are fighting for positions. Catches stays ahead in P2. Now PC will get past just before P1. And Phantom Fox got overtaken by 4 cars in a span of like 4 corners. Now, Car Chaser, he risks losing out on Jeremy's DRS. Always gets a 3-second penalty for track limits as well. But Alex looks so close to Car Chaser. He's trying to put pressure on him. But the teammate of the driver who's putting pressure on is just behind him. And that's not a sight he wants to see. Felix now sets the fastest lap of 45.0, but is down in P8 and still very far from Coutinho. I think that first stint just heavily compromised this race. Top 4 remains unchanged in the DRS. The McLaren swap positions with Coutinho up in P6. And just look at this, Felix is just so much behind. We now have Coutinho, who's over the back of Francois Fox and overtakes him way before Blanchimon. Has a much better exit out of Stavelot. Nothing he can do. And Antonio will follow through very closely. Now Coutinho beats Felix's fastest lap time at 44.885 for the McLaren. Antonio almost runs in the back of Phantom Fox. But we have a fight for the lead as Car Chaser overtakes Sir Jeremy down the inside just before the end of the camera straight. Car Chaser retakes the lead of the race. And Phantom Fox with DRS overtakes both McLarens. He's helping out his teammate. He's been the absolute wingman for Felix, and Antonio is not liking that, and he goes down the inside for a very aggressive move into Rivage, and Coutinho tries to follow through, but he goes on the curb and loses the car just a little bit. Phantom Fox doing everything he can to defend against the McLarens to try and help Felix. But Antonio is already gonna pass. Coutinho gets a 3-second time penalty. He gets caught up by the dirty air of Phantom Fox. And now his race is heavily compromised. That is brilliant teamwork at Haas. Can Phantom Fox hold on just a little longer? Felix has gained about a second in this little fight. Phantom Fox defending the inside as much as he can, but Coutinho has a look, but he locks up the front, misses the apex, and he's slowing him down massively. Now Car Chaser is the fastest man on track, and he may start to gap Jeremy. Felix just gained another second at the bus stop chicane. But with the DRS, Coutinho might get past very easily. He will get past very easily. So in the end, Felix gained 2 seconds from all of this, which is still a massive gain, but still not what he needs. Sam as well fighting for positions with Numiko up into P9. Alex looks to have lost just a little bit of distance from from Jeremy. But with the two McLarens being heavily slowed down from Phantom, They are pretty much out of the top 4 and out of the fight for the win. It became a fight between Cartresser, Jeremy, Alex, and PC Willy. So Phantom Fox, maybe even if it doesn't directly help Felix, it does help Haas in minimizing the points loss, putting the McLaren out of the fight for the race win. Now he's into the pits. He's gonna go on the mediums and he's gonna have the faster tires out of everyone. He's gonna push on these final 8 laps for this final stint to try and gain back as much as he can. Even though he will jump down in like P14. And always retires into the pit lane. Numicorn fighting with Sam once again. One Aston Martin against 2 B-Carbs fighting for the last few points paying positions. P8, 9 and 10. Now Felix, maybe he won't catch Coutinho and Antonio, but he can definitely still try and finish within the 3 seconds of Coutinho to try and salvage at least a P6 out of this not so great race. And Sam down the inside of Numicorn, but doesn't keep the place as Numicorn is still ahead, carrying more speed, but Sam chooses to go down the inside once again, braking late into turn 1. They are still side by side on the exit. And Sam stays ahead, but before the DRS at action point. Jeremy looks to have lost DRS from Cartresser once again. I mean, I don't remember if it was Jeremy who lost it in P2 the last time, but the point is, once again, Cartresser is able to gap the rest of the field just on pure pace to try and get them out of the DRS. Absolutely amazing stuff we are seeing. Now it's a fight between Pix and Sean just for P11 and P12. They're not fighting for points, but they're still putting off such a fight through the comp. Sean stays ahead for now. Phantom Fox on the fresh mediums, he's in P14. He will already gain so many points on penalties from Aussie, Pix and Sean, so that's already a P11 pretty much guaranteed. But against Pinky, he's too far, and Felix overtakes Coutinho on track! What has happened to Coutinho? Did he cause the yellow flag? I think it did. I think Coutinho had a... I think he made a mistake around stab load. And Felix just slipped right through. Maybe he had an oversteer and went into the gravel. He goes back into the pits. Is he retiring? Yes, he is. And those are just 3 points for McLaren just wasted. He could have just gone and finished in P7 and still score 6 points for the team, but... Well, I mean, to be fair, he is a reserve, if I remember correctly. Yes, he's a reserve, but still could have been 6 free points and just wasted. Well, but this allows Phantom Fox a pretty much free spot into the points. So that's already a guaranteed P10. But maybe not what he was aiming for with the strategy, but at least something he can take out of this race. And look at this, Caltracer just seems to be so much faster than everyone. There's just like nothing they can do. Jeremy's just losing and losing and losing. Maybe Jeremy is even trying to completely focus on keeping the P3 from Alex instead of attacking Caltracer. It's like he already accepted that he cannot win, so just defend a P2 and fight against Alex and P3 as much as possible. And if they keep this on, Antonio could catch up. And Alex is gaining and gaining very quickly on the straight, on the camera straight. DRS is enabled. Does he burn to try and stay ahead? No. He did gain a lot in the initial slipstream, but started gaining less later. The fight for Sam against the two vehicles continues once again. They both have DRS, Sam and Pinky, but Sam goes down inside of the first corner of the com, goes up in P8. Fighting a whole team on his own to try and salvage a P7 out of this race. Now, what? Numicorn, Sam and Pinky, now they are fighting for the best of the rest finish. Like, that's the top 6, which are pretty much front runners, but they are out of reach, so P7 will be what they're looking forward to as the best result. Oh, there is some contact between Sam and Numicorn through Fagn. And Alex now is very close to Jeremy. So is PC Willy. Wow, brakes so late and he still gets the car stopped in time to make the apex. Will Alex go for a move now? Will PC Willy try anything on Alex? And the thing is, they did lost a little bit of time from Antonio. Alex just seems to get closer and closer, especially in turn 1, especially in Eau Rouge, but as soon as he goes up past Radillon and in the DRS, he just stops gaining for some reason. Sam down inside of Numi once again. We have a fight for P7 brewing up. Felix is pretty much locked in P6. Antonio could catch up to the fight for the podium. And Caltracer locked in for the win. Right now, it's a 3-way fight for P2 between Jeremy, Alex, and PC Willy. Antonio could join that. He looks like he's gaining consistently a 10th every few corners. Looks like he's absolutely pushing. You can see the Red Bull just ahead. Will he be in DRS already from now? He won't. Too far behind, 1.1. But if he keeps pushing like he did before in this lap, he will be in it. It's a matter of time. Oh, and Sam maybe playing DRS games, dropping behind both of them, both of the V-Cub. Another goes side by side through Eau Rouge. Look at this stuff. The Pinky was ahead. It was a very brief fight. Or was it? Because they're going to continue down the straight. Oh, and Numicon pushes Sam, tries to squeeze Sam to the outside as much as he possibly can, and Sam goes deep on the brakes, and Aussie is crushed! We have a safety car! We have a full core safety car! 3 laps into the end, Aussie Dry has crashed, exiting Radillon on the camera straight, and the safety car is out! 3 laps to the end of the Belgian Grand Prix! This is absolutely game-changing for everyone in here! It's gonna be a 2-lap sprint to the end! Everyone is gonna pit for soft, surely. This has changed everything. It looked to be a locked-in race, a locked-in result for almost everyone. Now it's gonna be an absolute fight to death for these last 2 laps. This is absolutely insane. And not everyone is gonna catch up to the safety car. Surely everyone is gonna pit for softs. Oh my god. This could be absolute mayhem on the last 2 laps. Antonio goes for a set of mediums. Why? I mean, yes, the softs wear out extremely quickly, but it's 2 laps. And Felix, I think he can say he got absolutely saved from this. Sam stays out on 11 laps on hard. Sam, you're not gonna get just gapped or overtaken left to right. You're gonna get lapped on those hards against the fresh softs. What? Choosing track position at Spa? No. No, why? He is gonna drop like a stone. Pinky on fresh hards. What are these strategies? Antonio, Sam, and Pinky, what are they cooking? Under safety car. And Jonathan as well, staying up. To be fair, Jonathan needs to catch up to the safety car. So maybe he has a reason, and but still. The safety car will 100% come in this lap because the game always leaves 2 laps of racing. This is gonna be absolute mayhem. Absolute chaos is about to happen in here. Safety car is in this lap. What looked to be a locked-in race win for Cut Racer is now under threat, under massive threat from everyone behind. There are just so many hungry cars just behind him. He needs to have an absolutely amazing restart, and Jeremy needs to not be caught out of guard. Off guard, what do you say? Whatever. Safety guys in the pits. Catchers can restart. Phil Blanchimont still weaving. He's trying to bait Jeremy, but he's not falling for it. He's gonna restart just before the bus stop chicane. The race is on for the last 2 laps here in Belgium. And Cut Racer definitely had a massive restart. Look at this, he's already gapping Jeremy almost outside of DRS after only 1 single chicane. Felix loses absolutely no time on those fresh softs against those old hards. He's up into P6, now he has a chance. Antonio is disconnected! Antonio has disconnected with 2 laps from the end. Absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, Antonio, he wasn't gonna keep those places anyway. He was on the mediums, but at the last possible moment, he drops out of the race. I mean, he gets disconnected out of the race. That's not his fault. But Felix says, thank you very much. Goes up into P5. PC Willie has already jumped out of the arrest from Alex. And Jeremy as well from Couchracer. They are pushing absolutely full pace, and this is where we are seeing the true skill gap between drivers. Wow, and Pinky was fighting Phantom Fox on those hards. And Sam is gonna be just a moving roadblock for everyone here. Pinky gets a 3-second time penalty. That's his chance. 4 points pretty much gone. And Phantom Fox making moves around the outside of Numicorn through the last corner. So they almost made contact. And what a move that was from Phantom Fox around the outside of Stablo. Now Pix and Sean going at it against Pinky, who is on the hard. He's gonna jump like a stone once again. This fighting is going on across the entire field. Now Pix has the inside, and he overtakes Pinky very, very easily. And Antonio's AI makes him pit on the penultimate lap. Codemasters. And what Couchracer has gapped 2 seconds in one single lap. I think that speaks for itself. No explanation needed. Phantom Fox is now gonna have to overtake this very slow Sam, but now Alex and Jeremy are fighting for position. Alex just slingshotted past Jeremy just before the end of the camera straight. Now he's up into P3. Now we have again the fight for Phantom Fox, who goes down the inside of Sam, who defends the inside, but Phantom Fox still goes through, up into P6, just behind his teammate, but Numicon is putting intense pressure. He has a little look down the inside of Rivage, or Bruxelles, he stays behind. They are all getting past the moving roadblock that is Sam on those old hards. Nothing anyone could do to catch up to Couchracer, but the fight for the podium, I don't think it's still over. PC Willie will definitely be looking forward to overtake Jeremy. Felix is just behind. Any battery they have left, they're gonna deploy it here at the exit of Stablo. We will see any moves. And Jeremy, he's gaining on Alex, but he's too far behind. He's not gonna make a move. Everyone stays where he is, and Couchracer absolutely dominates in Spa-Francorchamps, and he wins the Belgium Grand Prix. And Alex puts alongside, well, Jeremy puts alongside Alex at the exit of the bus stop chicane, but it's gonna be Alex back in P2, and Jeremy on his return after a few missed races. He's also back on the podium in P3. PC Willie closes the race in P4. Felix just a single tenth behind PC Willie. He gets saved by the safety car. He finishes in P5. Phantom Fox cooking with the alternate strategy, and with the safety car he goes up into P6, and that's been the Belgian Grand Prix. And well, to be fair, it was less action than I expected, but such a late safety car. But even with that, Couchracer absolutely dominates from start to finish. No one could have catched him, not in qualifying, nor in the race. He lifts the trophy on his return, and he gains crucial points on so many of his rivals, especially Felix, the championship leader. He gains 15 points on him. He gains a handful of points, about 7 points on Alex. He's not gonna have to worry about Jeremy because he's not ahead of him. But it's Couchracer's hunting back. And there we go. Couchracer even takes the fastest lap. Absolutely dominating performance in Spa. And it's an all-German podium with Alex in the Williams in P2, Jeremy in P3, PC Willie finishes where he started in P4, Felix in P5, Phantom Fox from P13 to P6. That's P7 for Numicon, fighting heavily with his teammate and with Sam, who finishes in P8, even on the whole arts. Pix finishes with 2 points in P9. Bazooka Joe gets the last point in P10. Alex, Sean, Pinky, Jonathan, other points, and Antonio, he got disconnected, and then it was Aussie Dry, Coutinho, and Always with the DNF. So there we go. That has been the Belgian Grand Prix in Division 1 in absolutely, again, dominating masterclass performance from Cat Racer. Everyone tried to get close, tried to beat him, but he was nowhere near enough, and he can definitely take those 26 points very, very proudly. So that's 8 points gained on Alex just ahead of him. So there we go. That's the end of the Belgium races of round number 5 across all 3 divisions. We do have one more week of racing before we go into the winter break. So before Christmas and New Year's Eve, it's gonna be 2 weeks of breaks. 2 weeks of break. Yeah, 2 weeks of break. So the next week will be the Singapore Grand Prix, round number 6 across all 3 divisions. That's gonna be the last race we do for the year for 2025. We will pause season 18 after the Singapore Grand Prix. We will be back in January, in like the second week of January. Now, I already know for sure that I won't be able to commentate the Singapore Grand Prix in Division 1 next Saturday. So that's also going to be my last stream for the year. And yeah, you will hear me back in the commentary box next year in 2026 in January for the next round after the Singapore Grand Prix. But that's still going to be hopefully and very, very likely streamed in Division 3 and Division 2. So you will have 2 Singapore races to watch and to drive, obviously, if you're part of the league. Division 1 will go on as normal, but I just won't be there to commentate. So I will be back. I will be back in the commentary box for round number 7 of season 18, and that's going to be a very special and a very particular interesting round, because round number 7 will be something that we're going to introduce officially for the first time here in F1 Total. It is something we came up with a few months ago before the season started, and we have made it official. We will be implementing 3 sprint races across the calendar, and it's not gonna be the canonical. It's not gonna be the canon sprint format that you see in real Formula One. We have decided to twist it a little bit. The way it works is that whenever there's a sprint race, and it's gonna be 3 sprint races across the season. What we do is we get rid of qualifying and we have 2 races in one. The first race will be a 25% length race where the starting grid is going to be the reverse championship order. So whoever is the championship leader will start at the back of the grid behind everyone. Whoever is last will start on pole position. And that 25% race is going to have reduced points. Which is something along the lines of like 12 for the race winner, 8 for P2, something like that. I don't remember exactly. But the results of that 25% race will be also the starting order for the normal 50% race that will come immediately after. And obviously that's going to be just like the normal races that gives the normal amount of points. But yeah, we decided to twist it a little bit. And yeah, we're gonna start with this sprint format on round number 7, which is gonna be Monza in Italy. The first race of 2026 will be in Monza with this new sprint format. We cannot wait to see how that works out. And obviously, there's gonna be a thing across all 3 divisions. So very looking forward to that. In the meanwhile, we expect you back on the F1 Total YouTube channel for the Singapore Grand Prix in Division 3 and 2. Again, I'm going to miss Division 1. So after that, we're going to have the Christmas break and New Year's Eve for everyone. So that's the last year here from me from this year. So I can only say well, to I can only wish you some good holidays to spend the time in a way you enjoy and have a lot of fun. Spend time with people you love being around with, and if you're a driver, just overall enjoy a little break from racing, recharge your batteries, and come back even stronger at the start of 2026. So yeah, that has been all from me. Thank you again for watching. We will be back with Singapore next week, and after that is gonna be the end of 2025. So yeah. Again, thank you for watching. This was Division 1 in Belgium. We'll expect you again in Singapore. Have a good rest of the evening, and we will see you again next week.